Yeah, because I was at the point where I was fucked up like enough because that's what I've realized.
If only I realized where that point was for me.
And I had to take one of those horrible hot drunken shits.
And then I'm like, my ass feels really wet. Did I shit my pants? Oh yeah, I pee outside too often to be in some places, and I know that.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's episode 30.
If that's how it's gotta fucking be, good lord, man.
The Dapper Dad.
Episode motherfucking 30, guys. How's everyone doing out there today?
Better than me.
Oh, everyone's doing better than drama. Drama's lower than dog shit, right? I'm trying to light my cigarette. You gotta give me a second.
Must be nice. Hey, folks. Yeah, it's episode 30. We've been doing this for a long time. And guess what you're about to hear? A recap of our weekend.
You are about to hear the most fantastical, labyrinthian, fantasy-like story. One might say the way the weekend's events ended up going were akin to a Dungeons and Dragons style game where one was rolling the dice, and that's where our luck was coming in. Because let me tell you, this
say
was,
that.
That's what I would say, because the vibe this weekend.
We got a bunch of dorks listening.
We got nothing but dorks listening.
Nothing but dorks, see, great. Just
nothing but straight edge dorks, because we told them they can't have any doinks. No doinks for dorks. It's a very serious policy we have here.
Well, anyway, if you listened to the last episode, you know that we're going to be recapping our trip to Madison. This one won't be so much just about the concert, because it was 2 days full of fuck. Insanity.
Oh my God. It was.
Hey, read all the promotional stuff, because I don't feel like doing it.
No. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and ramble some promotions. I'm going
to be very forward with
one of the things we found out this weekend is that about 80% of the information that comes out of my mouth I get right. So there's that good 20% margin we have.
I'm glad you
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and
spin I'll just do it.
No, I got it right here. Like we're right here. Buffoon. So if you want to check us out, go ahead and check.
How do you not know this? It's every episode.
I know, I'm just terrible. So what we're going to do is if you want to check out anything and everything Dapper Dads, that includes all streaming formats, websites, everything.
What in the fuck? Never mind.
Too high.
All right, guys.
www.thedapperdads.com. That's where you got to go for everything and anything Dapper in a nice, tight little package.
You don't have to keep going. Just tell them.
dapperdadspodcast@gmail.com. Send us some emails. We did get an email submission. Are we going to get into that this episode?
No, there's submissions. They're all next episode.
All right. If you submitted to us, check out episode 31 coming hot in next week. Hi, episode 31 us. I hope you're doing better than is doing right now.
God. Awesome. Cool, because I really wanted to record on a Tuesday and then spend a bunch of time editing out my fucking name because you don't know how to talk and get it out before Friday. Wow, this is going to be just a great week. I hope I don't wake up. Also, call us at
402-7-DAPPER.
I'm not saying it together.
Or, I love it when we say it together.
Time with you. No!
Okay, call us at 402-7-DAPPER or 402-732-7737 with anything and everything. We will talk to you. We will reply to you. And if you leave a voicemail, we will play it on the show.
We've gotten a slew of memes. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see the
We'll get into those
memes
next episode as well, but we haven't talked because I've been ignoring you.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if you've seen all of those
Yes,
memes.
I saw all of them.
All right, we'll get into
I can't believe
them.
you've been ignoring me.
I haven't been ignoring you. I've been on the couch for 3 days, well, 2.5 days straight, which is fucking like a prison, a nightmare hell prison.
So
laying just on the couch. I'm sick, guys, and I fucking shattered my knee in Madison.
So
we'll get to it.
This is the
because I shattered my knee a month ago skating.
If
with
this
another
episode was a movie, you being sick, laying on the couch with a shattered knee is the first scene in the movie.
Yep.
And we're like,
it's like Memento. We go backwards.
How did our hero get to this point? 3 days earlier. Shoot to us in the Grand Marquis flying down the highway to Madison, Wisconsin. First time ever in my entire life.
Is it a Grand Marquis?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know. It's a beautiful whip.
Over this weekend, if nothing else, I've lost all certainty in anything you ever say.
And you're the one who wanted to start a show with me.
I never realized you're so close, but you make it completely wrong, and that's the beautiful art, which we'll get to. Don't let me forget those main points. So Aaron, I thought it was a Mercury, because he calls it Freddie Mercury.
But then why on the dash does it say Grand Marquis?
I don't know. I guess, I don't know.
There's a lot of confusing things there. Either way, it was a chariot that we were flying down the highway in, whipping some fantastic tunes up on the radio. As we pulled into the city, we were roused with a loving chorus of Child Support Me, which Man, I have videographic evidence of the child support me, and it is very intense, but I feel like I can see little bits of life in your eyes when you're doing it.
That was when I was still happy.
I've never seen you more alive than when you're singing child support me. I just want to throw that out there. So we pulled up to the Motel 6, and you really undersold the place to me. Like, the way you made it sound, this was going to be like the seediest,
Well, to be completely honest, this was both the nicest room by far that we've gotten and the like least shady clientele.
Yeah.
Like, the lady at the desk was super nice. The first time I went to the Motel 6, I don't know if I've said this before, but this paints the picture of what you should have expected and gotten. We walked in. There's a pit bull in the lobby of the motel.
Yeah.
And someone asked for change for a dime, like 10 cents. Which I don't know in a time or place where you would need more specific change than a dime.
I would have felt like I stepped into a time machine if someone was asking for change for a dime.
And the lobby was packed. There's a pit bull. And then when I finally get up to the counter, the guy goes, "Do you need something?" And I was like, "Yeah,
I'd
need to check in." He's like, "You got a reservation?" I was like, "Yeah, for some reason." He goes, "Sorry, man. I was supposed to be off work 2 hours ago." I was just like, Jesus, this is the introduction. So yeah, this time we had some lady who was like super nice and like
kind,
informative.
yeah.
She told me more. I never knew they had coffee in the lobby. I know that now. I would never drink that coffee in the lobby.
No, I wouldn't trust it.
Our room, every other room we've ever been in, even on the second floor, has a brick wall in it, like exposed brick wall, like literally just bricks in the room.
Yeah.
This one did not have that for some reason. It was crazy.
There was this idea that there was going to be this big reveal when we went into the room that it was going to be like, it's so shitty. But like we went in there and we were all kind of pleasantly surprised. We were all just kind of like,
Still got a big gross tube TV, and that bathroom is
so small,
horrifically small, and the door wouldn't close.
The sink was on the outside of the bathroom.
Yeah,
if you've ever
which
seen
I've
that.
seen before, but usually there's still like a decent bathroom. This is literally like when I took a shower the next day, I had to do so much like spinning around and maneuvering.
I didn't even shower because I didn't even want to try. I hit
my head on the shower curtain rod,
and I am
because
much
it's
larger than you.
You were basically the bathroom.
Yeah,
it was like peeing and showering in you.
What a beautiful time. So as soon as we checked in, we exited immediately and tried to get Uber to work for me, but apparently God didn't want me to learn how to work Uber.
It's because you had a free code, so they were like, well, we're just not going to let it fucking work.
Yeah. So we ended up getting an Uber, which I'm sure most people who've listened to the show have frequented one at one point in their life. This one was interesting. How do we want to describe this?
I don't know. It was a fucking nightmare.
It was a fucking nightmare. So
one of the worst Ubers I've ever been in.
Really?
Yeah.
So we get into the car, and there is a cooler in the front, which she goes to throw into the trunk.
I don't like when they just assume that you're not going to have, like, because I've had people with me before, like a group like this.
Yeah.
And they just have shit everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, you should work under the assumption that there will be all seats occupied.
Parties, yeah.
And then maybe you'll get me drunk just getting in your car by myself. But otherwise, fucking don't have your shit everywhere. Like, this is your job.
So she goes to pop the trunk, and then I say, "Oh, it's okay. I'll hold the cooler." Because I'm just going to get
cooler,
very small, and I want to say suspiciously small, like one of those weird little personal ones that you keep like an organ in or something. But I didn't want to make the joke.
It's either organ or her lunch.
Well, because I didn't want her to. I didn't want to make the joke like, "Hey, what's in the cooler?" and have her just get like weird about it, Because
what's
then like
in the box?
Because then like what? Because then we do what? Get out of the Uber a quarter mile down the road and wait for another one.
I wish that would have actually happened.
That would have been a nice option, actually.
It's like a 20-minute ride from the Motel 6
and we
to
rode
the downtown
in
area.
Damn near complete silence. It was horrible. I just wanted to scream at the top of my lungs for some noise in that car.
I can't sit in silence like that. It gives me like almost a panic attack.
So
I have to constantly...
She said maybe 3 sentences the whole time.
Yeah, which I had to get out and close the trunk because she took off after popping it.
That's right.
And then she's like, the trunk's closed, and I could tell it was going to be way more efficient if I closed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you want me to close it? And she's like, yeah, if you want to. Then I closed it, and I'm like, let's fucking go. And then another thing I hate, if I'm in an Uber, probably don't know where I am, especially from like a motel. And she's like, which way? Immediately, we get in the car, and she goes, which way? And I was just like, motherfucker. And I go, right? And she was like, oh, you probably don't know, though. And it's like, no, I've done this before, but this is your job, and you have a GPS.
On your window. Right there.
Yeah.
So we finally get downtown. What was the first bar we went to? What was the name of the place?
Side Door, Grill and Tap.
really nice little place. Honestly,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. Got
I've had-
really good food there. Fantastic food. I was gonna get they had like some weird vegetable thing I was gonna do, but I ended up getting this salad that was really, really fantastic because it's rare that I can go anywhere and find a salad that doesn't have like egg in the dressing or meat and cheese on it. So
Come all over it.
just jizz everywhere.
I know.
So I got some good
That's why
fuel.
you can't eat salads. It's weird.
Got some good fuel in my body before prof. So we ended up walking around. My first impression of Madison was that it really is what Rockford wants to be.
Yeah.
Because it has the big
'Cause
wide
this again
sidewalks.
is your first time there.
Right. And
So
so
you've just never lived.
and it, yeah, no, I have not. I have not lived at all. It is terrible, man. If anything, these last 2 weekends have shown me that I have not been living at all, and I just need to start getting some. I've been wishing more life on everyone this year. I need to start having more life
Just-
myself
yeah.
because, man, it has just been phenomenal. Man, I just got so happy for a second. I just forgot everything. It's just such a good time. So we're walking around. Everything's so brightly lit is one of the first things I noticed. There's a lot of light, and everything is just a beautiful view everywhere you look. Because it's like you want to look up and like notice like something specific. Like you want to be like, oh, that shop looks cool or that site looks cool. You can see the Capitol building from pretty much everywhere we were in the part of town. And so it's like everywhere you look, there's just this beautiful Capitol building and all these cool stores around. And it was a lot to take in at first because we're walking around, and you guys obviously knew where you were going. But I'm like, my ADD is just going off the wall because I'm seeing all these bright signs and cool shops that I want to check out and stuff. Then second bar we went to.
City Bar.
City Bar. We spent the most time at the City Bar
No.
of all the bars. Well, I think it was tied with.
No, because we literally got one drink and left.
At
City
City-
Bar was second. Yeah. Then we went to the Plaza, which was where we spent the most time. We went down to City Bar.
That's
People
right.
were yelling in the dart room, and it was
Oh,
just
yeah, that's
they
right.
were out of the drink
That's
I wanted.
right, yeah.
And
Oh,
it was not a good experience.
That was the loudest I've ever heard someone yell in a bar.
I know,
In
right?
my life. And like I've heard like we've had some moments down at the Rue before, but these guys were like it was like elephants bellowing and back in the dark room. And I could see
Especially
where
without the context of knowing where they are and what's going
just
on.
loud yelling from the back
Yeah,
at like 5
I knew
PM
they were
on a
playing
Friday.
darts, but like other people were probably like, that maniac is gonna come out and kill someone.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. So we ended up leaving there very quickly.
Yeah.
Then
we went to the Plaza.
oh my God, the Plaza was fantastic.
Yeah.
There's just it's just so much. It was really overwhelming for me in a lot of ways, just because there was so much to take in at first, and obviously I'd had a couple of beers in me at that point, and it's like it was a lot. It was just so much beautiful. It was just so much beauty there. It was so hard to just
People
describe
are loving
it and take
this.
it all in.
It was a lot.
No one can allow me to be awestruck. It's incredible.
In person, but not recounting it in audio form doesn't really work super well.
Well, maybe if people watch the video, they could see how
Don't watch
happy
this.
and fantastic my face
This is the one time
The one time you don't want
I'm
anyone
like,
to watch it.
"Oh, don't look at me."
Well, regale us from here because I've been hitting a lot of points.
Then we tried to go to the old fashioned because I wanted what everyone else apparently would have hated if it had even existed, a brandy slushy.
Just doesn't sound like a good time.
I just like slushy. If it's slushy with orange juice, lemonade, and brandy, I bet it's good as fuck. It doesn't sound like my ideal drink.
What probably would have happened is I would have tried it.
And loved it.
Yeah, and then I would have got one. But
Yeah, and then we would have drank like 12 and been like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Also at the Plaza, my buddy Zach came out, and he had some Jack Daniels on him. So I took a couple.
That was one of the downward turns in the night, I feel like.
I don't think it was. Like, except I don't remember a ton of things. But
Yeah, there's some things that are seen missing that folks are just going to have to bear with here.
But I didn't realize until, we talked about it the next day that probably was a huge point of it. I didn't drink a lot. Honestly, he threw it in a gutter when we were outside of the show before we were like going to go in and hunker down after we'd already been in there. And there's like a good amount of it in there. So it's not like we really like chugged it. It was just...
Still, man,
I'm not a Jack person.
Yeah, very rarely have I seen like a walk around party type situation where Jack was involved and it was a good time.
No. I've seen a lot of walk around alcohol situations.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, I'm just not crazy about Jack. I don't think it really did anything too horrible. Well, not to me. We'll explain. Zach actually, had another time. But yeah, we were trying to get these goddamn brandy slushies, and the fucking place was closed. Which, before we even get into it more, I've been going to Madison since I was a kid. I've been going to the same bars for like, I don't know, several years now, like 5+ years. So now I used to love Tiki Shack, gone. Mad Hatter's, gone. Mr. Brew's Tap House, which recently opened, gone. The second Tiki Shack, which was called Hail Mary, open for 8 months, gone. Fucking like
horrific.
So it was already
Whole
like
field
scraping
of fallen
the
soldiers.
Yeah, and like the Tiki Shack was my favorite bar ever. I've said it before, whatever. But then Old Fashioned is fucking closed for remodeling. Like, obviously they're never gonna close because all those fucking Capitol bars. But some of those are too like fancy and prissy. Even the Old Fashioned is. I just wanted that goddamn drink.
That's one of the impressions I got of Madison, especially if we're talking like comparing weekends that we just had.
Yeah,
like Madison is very hoity-toity in a lot of ways.
Well,
like,
yeah, we also didn't go anywhere in Milwaukee. There's very comparable areas of Milwaukee that are like that. We were on like a different section. Madison, in my opinion, doesn't really have like a sketchy neighborhood.
Yeah,
or
that's one of the
like that.
that's one of the things I noticed about the whole place is that in a way I felt very out of place, and maybe it's just because I'm used to this sketchy city and being in it so much. But it's like there wasn't anywhere that seemed like hood or sketchy or bad, or even the bad part of town that we were staying in.
Yeah,
didn't seem.
I don't
bad.
even think that's a bad. Yeah, I don't think that's even a bad part of town. It's just a sketchy motel, which isn't like always sketchy. There has been some weird moments there, but I've stayed there quite a few times and never had anything happen. It's just like looks weird, and there's a lot of things afoot.
Yeah. See, the Uber driver thought it was the bad part of town. He was.
Because he said I was out of it at that point, but he said something.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you guys are staying in the bad part of town," and it's like, "Are we?"
It's next to like a fucking Best Buy and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
How's that the bad part of town?
They
it's
just must have high expectations.
Yeah, they definitely do. Because I've been to places before, like parties, where people are like, "It's kind of in the hood," and then I get there and I'm like, "Where?" And yeah. But I understand what you mean, where it like feels kind of weird, but I think after going there so much, it's like a nice vacation now when I go there, because you're like, now I don't have to worry about it. And I've never gotten in a fight in Madison. I've never had like any weird situations.
I think that's why I kept saying it was weird all weekend, because
because I thought you hated it. You
no,
kept going
honestly,
like, this is a hellhole.
Because it's like, okay, the way our group is, we are a little
That's
rough.
why we can't have nice things.
We're a little rough around the edges. You can't admit that we're not.
Oh, it gets rough. Well, let's continue, and then we'll get, because I think there's a good spot to talk about that.
Okay.
So then we go to fucking the bar that everyone
Rigby?
Yeah. Why did everyone hate that bar? No, we didn't go there yet. We went to the one that was like weirdly connected to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, and then that's when
I don't know what that one was.
I don't remember that, but that's when Andronicus showed up.
Yes,
because he called me on the drive up, and he texted me, and he was like, "So do you got my ticket?" I got his ticket. I called him. Ruined your moment in the spotlight, which I felt terribly, terribly, terrible about. And I called him, and he was like, "Okay, I think I can get there." And then he just like called me out of the blue, didn't say he was on his way. He's just like, "Okay, I'm in a parking garage."
Which,
where you
like, this man, I've met him, like, this is only like the 4th or 5th time I've met him. Just pops up. This motherfucker, you just turn around and he is there.
It's beautiful,
and like,
isn't it?
It's not held down by cities or states,
logic or law.
When we went to Janesville a couple episodes ago, we talked about it. Turn around, he was there out of nowhere, and we were leaving, so he drove all the way out to Janesville
and then just came all the way back
to talk to us for 10 minutes, and then came back with us to go to a loft party, which was actually sweet. But like, I would have been like pissed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I drove all the way to Janesville and then I get there and everyone's like, "Yeah, we're going back to where you were just from," I'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, truly does not, and will appear anywhere. We need to go to Texas or something
and just wait and see what happens. Just shows up at the airport.
But yeah, so we went to some other bar which was like very generic.
Yeah, we just got
looked like the other bar we're gonna talk about.
So much like
and they're
the
connected
other bar.
through a bathroom, which was confusing, and y'all were being wildly reckless in the hallway of the bar.
Yeah, at that point,
everyone was reaching that point. That's when I could tell. I was like, okay, we're all like,
we're ready for
here
Prof.
We go. Because the wheels are shaking and they're about to fall off.
We had to get to a certain point to get ready for Prof, because which we will get into in a couple seconds here. But it's like that. I'm glad you brought that up, because like I was standing there looking at everyone in the hallway, and I was like, yeah, we're rowdy enough. It's time.
Yeah, because that's not even a bar. that you should be that rowdy. And
No, it was
pretty nice.
I feel like everyone that ran into us in that hallway thought we were a bunch of terrible animals.
Well, like, because what was it? There's 6 of us in that hallway at that point.
Just 6 very big, loud guys.
Yeah, 6 big, loud guys in general. Everyone's like, if I'm trying to go to the bathroom and there's 6 big, loud guys in the hallway,
fuck.
Just piss my pants.
Yeah.
So then we worked our way over to the show because it was about that time. Had a very long conversation with people in a car that I don't know where they came from.
No, they came out of nowhere, and
then we
documented that.
Yeah,
I remember. I watched. That was a beautiful video. These guys were talking about basketball teams, and what else were they talking about?
Well, like, I don't know.
Because I came in at the basketball point. That's when I came in.
Yeah, I think I just walked up and started talking in the car, and I don't know why. And they had, like, a case of PBR that was open. Like, they were like, we're going somewhere. And then Zach had a Jordan jersey on, so I'm not sure if that's what sparked off.
I think it was,
I'd assume so. And then, it was just, like, a long, vivid conversation. And then that guy goes, fuck a bitch for me.
Yeah.
Right when they were pulling off, I was like, all right, we got to
he dapped me up and he goes, fuck a bitch for me.
That was fucking hilarious. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And then we get in there and see all the glory. What did you think about the venue overall? I'm not a huge fan of the venue.
I wasn't a huge fan, but I thought it was really pretty. It was really nice to look at, honestly.
It's nice, but, like, not a good layout for that type of show.
I hate that venue, and we're going to get into why I hate that venue when we get into it, because it's a beautiful
This
visual.
might be my possibly my favorite story.
Really?
Yeah. It's really, if you tell it the way you told me.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna retell it just right.
But yeah, so then Willy Wonka, Prof's current DJ, was playing some bangers. This is where I start to slip in and out.
Okay.
Because I went and smoked a cigarette and had some more of the Jack. And then before that, when I was going to smoke the cigarette, I ran into Prof's manager and was talking to him briefly. And then it was hazy because of where I was, but we were just chatting. And then he's like, you guys sticking around tomorrow, blah, 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 and talking about how they were having the day off, which we'll get into. And then he's like, what are we doing after the park? Oh, yeah. Do you want to get a tattoo from Prof? And I was like, yeah.
Yes, I do.
And I didn't know if I had heard it right, because it is kind of a crazy thing.
Right,
Because he's not like a guy who does tattoos, like legally, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Efficiently. So I was like, did he mean like a tattoo from Prof or like a tattoo of Prof? Or like what did I just sign up for? But
sometimes you just got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah. And then went outside and smoked a cigarette with Kurt and Matt and Zach and had some more Jack. You were still inside, I believe.
Yeah, because I was at the point where I was fucked up like enough because that's what I've realized.
If only I realized where that point was.
No,
for
see,
me.
I know where my point is, and when I get there, that's when I can like coast and have fun, you know.
Yeah.
And Wonka was playing some bangers, man. He was playing some really good tunes, and I just didn't want to miss out on it.
I didn't want to smoke that cigarette, but I don't know
You
what
just
happened. I feel like it might have been Kurt, but it was probably me.
Probably. And then the first guy who came out for set, Crash Prez.
Yeah. He's from Madison, I believe.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. If you've never checked him out, check his stuff out. He put on a very energetic show.
Yeah, I've seen him open up a bunch of times. I saw him actually, I don't know if he performed at Soundset, but he was at the Soundset after party, and he was like, I want to stage dive, but there wasn't that many people there yet, and he was like, can you all help me? So he jumped out, and then it was like a train. People had to come up and keep helping and like bring him around to the other side of the stage.
Terrible.
So it was mainly like carrying a man through the air instead of crowd surfing stage dive. But yeah, he's cool.
And then after that was Cashanova.
Things are fuzzy for me.
Okay, it was Cashanova, and he had the other guy DJ for him.
And then they switched places.
Right, I loved Cashanova's stuff. His stuff was fantastic.
Yeah, I seen him for the first time at Prof Outdoors, and I liked that better. But I think I remember it better because it got very fuzzy. I didn't realize how fuzzy it got until the next day, I guess.
Yeah.
Or right now.
And so then they switched off and did their sets, and then Prof was right after that.
Yeah.
Because it was the four technically.
Yeah.
And then Prof came out. And let me just say, comparing the two shows, this one was, I don't want to say far more entertaining, but having it be in a smaller venue definitely helped with being able to actually watch the show.
That was the big problem with Brockhampton.
Well, because one of the things we talked about the next day was that at Brockhampton, while it was a really good show, we didn't really get to see the stage a whole lot because like there was just so much going on around us.
The ballroom at the rave is like, it's beautiful, and I've had fun at it, but I've never seen like a phenomenal show there.
Yeah,
because you can't like
see the show.
It's just like Brockhampton was incredible, but like if we had seen Brockhampton where we saw Prof, like that would have been fucking insane.
My God, can you imagine?
No, I can't.
Oh, it'd be beautiful. But he came out and Prof is one of those artists who just commands the stage when he's up there, and he's not a very big guy. Like he's a very kind of scrawny. He's just a scrawny white guy. If you've never seen him,
pretty tall though.
Tall but scrawny.
Tall drink of water.
Not a guy you look at and think like that. You know, if you just saw him at, like working at McDonald's, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's the guy to respect. But the way he
well, that's anyone at McDonald's, to be fair.
Yeah, but the way he just commanded the stage with his presence and the talent he had with it as well. You know, the point in the evening where he was talking to people and he's like, if you go see someone perform live and they have a backtrack singing for them, boo them and tell them to fuck off because that's not what you should be paying for, you know? And he came out and he spit everything perfectly. It wasn't like he was out of breath. This is a guy who's clearly been doing this for 10 years and has like honed his skills like a sharpened sword. Like this, you've seen him so many times.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just like a part of your life.
Yeah.
For me, it was so good to just see an entertaining showman like that, you know, because you can tell he is just so in love with what he's doing, and he just loves rapping, and he loves just entertaining the audience and just being there. Like you can tell that is what makes him wake up every morning. It's just the chance to go out and do that. You know, he's not doing it for the fame or the money or to be popular. You know, he's doing it because this is what he'd be doing anyway for fun.
Yeah.
He's just.
You can also see, like, I go to a lot of rap shows where they're like, scream this thing, and like people will scream. He really gets fucking people to be interactive with his
He's
shit.
so interactive with
like
it.
you said, he can like really command a stage, and like I've seen him a tremendous amount of times, so I don't even know what to say anymore. I think the amount of times I've seen him speaks for itself.
And it's like
obviously I wouldn't keep wasting money on it if it sucked.
To put it frankly, I am never going to pass up a chance to see Prof ever. I've in fact found, and it's so funny because before we went and saw them, you all told me your stories about Prof and like the first time you saw him, and like after you see him the first time, everyone's like, yeah, I've just been telling everyone to listen to him, and like I've been repping him really hard and listening to him. That's all I've been doing since we got back. Like I've been wearing this hoodie everywhere I go, and I was actually showing some Prof music to someone at work this morning. Yeah. And it's like, it's just now it's starting to creep in and like infect everything, and it's like, oh, I see where it comes from now. But I think that just comes from seeing a very genuine artist, and I think that's what attracts me to Prof so much, is that this is a guy who is good because he loves it. You know, he's not just putting beats and raps down for money. He's not doing ad-libs for cash. He's out here making actual music with an actual message that's actually good, and there's just nothing I can complain about, honestly. I would have paid 3 times as much that we paid for those tickets to see a show that good. Yeah.
So if you get the opportunity, he's going on tour soon, and there should be a second leg of that tour as well. So it'll be coming back around our parts.
When's the new album
Baby
dropping?
Comes out April 13th, I think, 12th or 13th.
It's the middle of April there, Be very excited. That's going to be on our probably our end of the year list.
Oh, probably. It's been a minute since his last album, so I've been waiting on it.
And if you have not checked out Liability, check out Liability, because that album is
check it all out. It's
just
very
everything.
good.
Anything you can find with him,
he's
just
got,
do it.
The one thing I always say is like he's got a song for everybody. Yeah. People say that shit a lot about a lot of artists, and it's just blatantly not
Everybody
true.
has one Prof song that's like their Prof song.
Because he's got like the very, very party songs, and then he's got the very, very like very serious.
See, that's what I'm starting to get into now is more serious stuff. Because seeing him perform some of the serious stuff live was like, wow.
Well, yeah, and normally there's more. He went like on a fucking, I'll call it a banger parade. I was losing my goddamn mind.
Oh, I was losing my mind for the portion of the show where I felt like I could lose my mind. Yeah. So let's get into this.
Let's get into possibly my favorite story. I think it's my favorite because it's one of them that doesn't involve me going through hell. It involves you going through a piece of hell. Yeah. And I had a lot more hell, so I just like that at least somebody had a little bit
and
of like
shit.
This is my favorite thing. You were just talking about like everyone's always like my first time seeing Prof, blah 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 blah. You have one of the best first time seeing Prof stories now. So here we go.
Okay, so leading up, I didn't even tell you guys this, leading up to the Prof show the whole week after Brockhampton. I was just so sick. Like there was one point I had a raging fever. My throat just like
You're
burned.
gonna say boner.
That I'd never stop having
What
one
a
of those.
sickness.
Horrible.
Come on, get down with this sickness.
What an awful commodity.
That's what it sounds like when I come. Yeah.
I wonder if somebody
I don't
could
get
go.
to come often.
I want to know if somebody could go because I feel like we've made that joke about so many things. I want someone to go through the show and get all the clips of it.
Well, I say that's what it sounds like when I come, and that's the only way I can come. So yeah, someone compile all of that. Hey, I'm so sick.
You're terribly sick.
All right. So yeah, you'd been sick. You had a raging boner.
So I had been sick with my raging boner disease, and I was finally feeling like to the point where I could function on the Friday we left. But my stomach was still a little bit upset, so I wasn't like eating a ton. I was like trying to keep things down because I knew we were going to be drinking. I was
drinking and jumping. That'll get your tummy flowing.
And so I was drinking probably too many damn beers, and all the food we had, it just wasn't sitting right, and I had to take one of those horrible hot drunken shits. And if you've ever taken a horrible hot drunken shit, I don't want to say it was a drunken shit because I wasn't like, oh my god, drunk, but it's like one of those you've been doing too much and you suddenly have to shit, one of those things.
Yeah, mine happens when I'm like physically active, like let's go play basketball, and then I'm like getting into it, and then I gotta go take it sweaty.
Yeah,
I've done too much shit.
That's what this was. It was a sweaty I've done too much shit because I've
made mistakes.
I was losing my mind.
How far in? This was during Prof, correct?
This was 3/4 into the set.
All right, so you got pretty far.
I got a good.
Were you trying to like hold off? And
yes,
just,
I was. I was
because you don't want to shit at a venue. I've never shit during a show.
This is what happened. I was going to push through it because it was during not Cashanova, but the other guy. It was during his set. Yeah. And I was starting to feel it, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I don't think I'm gonna have time to get this out before, because we were at a very good spot in like the very middle there, and I was like, I don't want to give up this spot. And so I got through 3/4 of the set. I was pushing around during Bar Breaker like I wanted to, and that made me really excited because that's like my Prof song right now is Bar Breaker, because it's like I love the harshness of the beat. It's very it honestly reminds me the production is a lot like Tobacco. If you've ever listened to him before, it's got that very fuzzy hard sound that I like a lot. So that's mine right now. So I just got to scream it and shove everybody. It was great. It's 3/4 to the set, and he stops the song, and I just stood there, and I was like, "It's time," and I just walked away. I didn't even tell anyone.
I know.
Like, do you have that moment where you're just like, "I've been holding this in. It's time."
It's called the Irish exit, and I used to do it constantly.
Yeah, it was the fastest Irish exit I've ever done in my entire life. Now,
because I turned around at one point, and I was like, maybe he hates it.
No, I loved it.
Because also before we jump into this, I turned around early on, and my friend Zach was gone.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Pretty quickly, and he's a big Prof fan. He never like goes out, does anything. We were joking about how like that's his one night a year is when Prof plays in Madison, and he always gets fucked up and goes crazy. So he disappeared. Long story short, the next day the next morning he texted and was like, when are you leaving and when are you going to breakfast? I didn't respond yet. And then I'm like, we're heading to breakfast when we finally were, and he was like, I'm back in Rockford. What did he say? I started puking, didn't even get to see Prof, got in a cab, got back to the motel, and passed out, and then drove the wrong way down a one-way. Or no, he didn't get a cab. He drove the wrong way down a one-way. I don't know. He fucking didn't even get to see Prof. Was puking.
Nightmarish.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, it was the Jack.
Yeah, it had to be. There's no way it couldn't have been.
I don't know. It's weird.
So, for preface, the bathrooms in this particular venue are underneath the stage,
which is one of the weirdest bathrooms I've ever seen. Like weirdest bathroom placement.
Now, normally that's not a problem, but when you have a rap show going on directly above you, they tend to use a lot of bass. And when they use a lot of bass, they tend to have really big equipment that plays the bass very loud so that you can feel it. And it's on the floor above you where the bathroom is. So he had stopped. When he had stopped, he was doing some talking with the audience when I went down there, because I remember there wasn't any music playing at first. And I got down there and I'm just sitting. I get into the bathroom. The stall door has no latch at all. So I'm sitting there and it just keeps falling open. So I'm sitting there one-handedly holding it, sweating, wiping sweat away with my t-shirt, wrecking the collar of my shirt. Going, and the whole time I thought, Drama's going to kill me if he sees me doing this. I think that every time I stretch the collar of his shirt now.
Good.
I'm at home in
finally
secret.
Works.
I'm at home in secret. I'm like, can't let my best friend down. And so I'm sitting there and the song starts, and I don't know what song it was, but the bass was just going, just with stop, start like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm holding the stall door.
And so was your body.
And so was my body as I'm shitting. And it was the weirdest, most awful feeling in the entire world, because I'm sitting there trying to hold my body down, and as I'm sitting on the toilet, my body's and like shaking, and I'm like, I'm going to fall off this toilet. And I wanted to cry because I started having a small panic attack because I was sweaty and I couldn't stop shaking, and I was like, this is it. We crashed on the highway coming in here. Everything coming in has been awful. I'm in hell, and this is the part where I realize that I'm in hell and I can never get out of hell.
And hell is just you shitting.
And hell is just me shitting
stage.
underneath a prof show in Madison.
Yeah, that's unpleasant. Luckily, what if you would have just started puking too? Because I've had it.
I
where,
thought I was going to because of how hard that
the
bathroom was
vibration.
shaking.
I've had like a handful of shows where the bass is so heavy that it makes me feel nauseous, and I just know it's like jostling everything in my stomach, and I feel like I'm gonna fucking puke.
No, I thought
which would be like impressive for a rap group, or well, because one was Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
If they were like, yeah, our bass is so crazy, it makes the whole crowd vomit uncontrollably.
Well, you know have you ever listened to the band Swans at all?
Yeah.
They when they first started, they played shows just outside in New York, and they would play so loud that the cops' ears would start bleeding as they would walk up to the monitors to turn them off.
Jesus Christ.
And that is violently loud, and like they'd be like puking and like trying to like cover their ears and stuff, but it's like it was
Sounds
no
like
use.
a good time.
It sounds like a great time to me, just walls of noise while people vomit. And so I came back out. And you feel better after that, you know.
Lighter.
You feel lighter, empty. You don't feel as loggy. But I was like, man, I think I've had enough to drink, and I've jumped around a lot. I need to take a breather. So I just kind of hung out by the subwoofer, and I saw you guys just getting buck wild, and I was like, there's no way I can even begin. There was no way I could even begin to fight my way back into it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even gonna try, you know. So I got to watch it from the side stage for a while, which gave me some better perspective of it, because it's like I got to actually see him interact with people and actually jump around and perform. Got very crazy at the end because he left the stage, and then everybody's like, Gabo, Gabo. And of course he comes back out, and he does Andre the Giant, the new one, brings everybody out on stage, the whole crew, all the openers, brings out a giant inflatable mechanical bull pool floaty. Is that what we can call it?
Yeah, well, it wasn't like a legitimate mechanical bull, because those mechanics don't exist yet.
No,
but yeah,
but it's like the idea. It was like a bull, but
like
it was a pool
huge,
floaty.
inner tube made for multiple people with
Yeah.
like a small inflatable bull in the middle that someone got on. Yeah, he does a lot of
Craziness,
wacky antics like that from time to time as well. And then, there's a man in his underwear on the stage, which I did not realize until
which
the
I
next
found out
day.
that you guys didn't realize it until the next day, because I saw him and I was like,
literally what I just said.
I was like,
holy shit.
It's just so weird to me, because it's like, why didn't you guys see him at first?
I barely remember seeing the dude. I was just, I don't know.
Because that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, there's a man in his underwear.
You were like specifically watching from the corner and not jumping around.
Still something I would have noticed.
Well, maybe you just love to eye dudes in their underwear. I don't know.
It's just so jarring when you see it.
Yeah, probably. I knew he was shirtless.
Yeah.
Maybe I couldn't see over.
So the show ended.
Well, before that, he ended with President, which is possibly my favorite Prof song, at least live.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time, we were jumping around, but it wasn't like crazy rowdy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of failed crowd surfs and whatnot.
Yeah. People getting dropped on their heads and shit.
Yeah. And so President comes on, and that's the one song where, because Prof show isn't really like moshy and pushy ever.
No, there's
it's
a
like
lot of
just
jumping and like energy, but it's
jumping.
not like violent. Like it's not like uncomfortable.
And so, as I'd said previously in another episode, I fucking fell on my knee skating, heard it, got it to be a little bit better, randomly heard it again with no knowledge. So the week up to Prof, I was doing everything I could to get it back in shape, because I knew there was going to be a lot of walking, a lot of jumping. And that day, it was great. Like, it was kind of sore in a certain spot. Not bad. President comes on. I literally thought to myself, I was like, should we do this? I got to do this. And I don't know what happens. I'm getting conflicting reports because, like, Matt and Cole say I fell twice, which I don't remember one of those. Remember one, and I think I just slipped because the floor was wet. And I don't even remember falling on my knee. I hit my head, and there's a spot on the knee of my jeans that's like real slick. Like I really hit it, and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but long story short, I fucking obliterated my knee.
I know.
Again, immediately.
When the show ended, Matt, he came like running and looking for me, and he was like, his knee, he hit his knee, and I was like, I for a minute I thought like that was it, like we were gonna have to like go home and shit. I was like, man, we're not even gonna get.
Yeah,
to
I wish I would have went home and shit. Yeah. So I like got up on it, and I was like, fuck, like. But it was probably worse than the day I initially fell and ended up coming to your house and all the shenanigans. But I don't understand what happened. I thought at first, like the whole weekend, really, I thought like I like fell and someone was like on my foot, so it gave me like a weird twist or something. That's what it felt more like. But then I look at my jeans and there's like a very like slick surface, like I hit my knee and
like
skidded
really
across.
hard. Yeah.
So I'm currently dealing with that. And
if you were at the Prof show and saw what happened to Drama, please call 402-7-DAPPER and let us know.
But I don't even want to know. Cause
if you were at the Prof show and you're listening to this, hit up 402-7-DAPPER and let us know how the show was. Give us your review of the show. Let us know what you thought.
Because Kurt said he could hear me fall over the music. I fell so hard. He like stands behind the idea that I was like up in the air when I fell. Because
how did you get up in the air?
I don't know. That's what I don't remember.
How would you have gotten up in the air?
People lift me up, but
why?
I never want that. I would have been like,
because you get like crazy about that, like.
Yeah, because I just like I'm not a huge fan of that unless I really want to do it myself. It just doesn't end well, especially that night. There was like 5 attempts that were very bad.
But they ended,
and I couldn't even hear those people. But yeah, Cole was like, I could hear you fall over the music. That's how hard you fell. Wow. So I don't know exactly what happened, and not even
this is crazy.
I was like crazy drunk at that point.
No,
I just
you
don't
weren't.
know. It was such a weird movement, and I was on the ground.
There's a lot happening, yeah.
But luckily, it was the end of the show, and I was like, well, I mean, there's not much I can do. Like, let's go to a bar. We went to go meet up with my friend Bacon because he called me and he had been at the show, and I wasn't really able to interact with him because we were getting so rowdy. So we went to the bar Rigby, which everyone hates except me.
I didn't hate it. It was just
you guys were like, fuck this bar, and then the next day you were like, fuck that bar, I'm never going back to that bar.
And then we did anyway.
And then we immediately went back to that bar.
Just went right in.
But yeah, it was just like a very general, like I was talking to Bacon and other friends and just like hanging out. We played the jukebox.
Yeah, at that point the night just started getting fuzzy for everybody because I think we had just partied to the point of exhaustion. The Prof show didn't end until like what, 12:30, something like that.
I think it was like 12.
It was very late.
So we were there, but we were in that bar for fucking ever too.
Yeah,
because
we were
even
there
after 2, and then they were like gave us like apple pie shots.
Yeah, they came up and they just gave us free apple pie. And we were like, why? And they were like, I don't know. And they just gave it. It's like, okay. And then
it was like a fever dream.
Well, and then we were sitting there, and she was like, you want another beer? And you were like, I mean, do you have time? She goes, yeah, whatever. And
yeah, because they were like, let's go, get out of here. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, you want a beer? And I'm like, we gotta go, right? And she's like, and then she gave me another beer. We were there forever.
Yeah, we didn't even end up leaving.
Think we were gonna leave. I thought
we didn't leave until 3:30.
Was that what it was?
That's what it was. I vividly remember because I remember we left the bar. We were all standing outside under that parking garage because Andronicus had to get his stuff.
Yeah.
And we're standing there waiting for the Uber, huddled together for warmth, smoking cigarettes. Yeah. And I look at my phone and I think, how is it 3:30 in the morning?
It was insane.
And so
they just didn't make us leave.
And
it was fucking.
We get the Uber back, and he was being too talky for my personal taste at that late.
See,
in the
that's
night.
what the way there we get the silent.
See, I would have preferred the silence on the way home because he kept asking us like where we were from and what we were doing, and it's like
sometimes I like Uber conversations when they go the right way, but just like where are you from? And like,
right,
it's like a date. Like let's ask some like intriguing questions.
Right, I know.
Not just where am I from and what do I do?
I was mostly zoned out at that point because at that point I'd had enough to get me fucked up, and I was just like, I need to eat and relax. And so we get back to And
when we get back,
this is the worst thing that has ever happened to anyone ever. And I just want to preface this by saying that, like, I still want to cry when I think about it happening to you.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was me or what then happens to you shortly after.
No, what happens to me shortly after was a bitch. But what happened? Okay, you know how they say life is hell and death's a bitch. What happened to you was hell. What happened to me was a bitch.
Okay, so everything, like, my knee is like super fucked, and we walked. Luckily, the bar wasn't that far away. I think that's one of the reasons we just went there, because like all the way down State Street would have been
a nightmare.
Yeah, so I'd been on it a bit, you know, moving around in the bar, but in that Uber back, it was so tight that I was like, oh shit, that my knee is like real, like, I'm not just gonna wake up and be fine like I thought I could be.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked. And so I'm on the right side of the Uber. Finally we pull in, go past the wrong Motel 6, finally pull up right in the middle. We're like, this is good. So I go to jump out immediately so I could not have my leg squished up anymore. Get out. The blackest, slipperiest ice I've ever touched. Like, I literally put my feet on it and just went down. And no one in the car saw it, but there was a old, I'm going to say crackhead man in the corner of the parking lot, because it's like 4 a.m. Mm-hmm. A little old crackhead man goes, Sonny, are you okay? And it was one of those things where
at that moment, you should have just laid on the ground and died. I would have just accepted that.
Yeah, I literally was like, do I just fucking lay here at this point?
Well, because
and then the next day goes fucking like, I was like, you know, when you think like, at least this is the most that can happen,
right?
Like, unless a car came and ran me over right now, it can't get worse. And then I wake up tomorrow, and I guess it can get worse.
Yes, because
but then we all went in, and then you.
Okay, so me and
animal.
Me and Andronicus were starving. We needed like food in our bodies, and with my diet, it's very hard to find food all the time everywhere. But there was a Denny's right by the hotel, and they have a fantastic vegan burger that I can get. So Denny's is America's Diner. It's supposed to be open 24/7. That's the whole fucking point. And so we're walking in the cold on
fuck Denny's.
Fuck Denny's. You know what? Fuck Denny's. Fuck everything about Denny's right now, because I'm so fucking pissed at them, because we walked from the motel all the way down to the Denny's in the cold, by the highway, wind blowing in my face, ice on the grass. And I get there, and some girl drives by me and goes, "They close." And I went, "Denny's doesn't fucking close, you idiot." Only to
and that's what you
walk
get.
up to the door, and Denny's was fucking closed, and I don't know why, but there was cops inside, and one of those cops looked me in the face, and I swear to God, he laughed. He went like, and like snickered at me. And if there wasn't
a dead body,
if there wasn't cops in there, I would have thrown something against the window and screamed, because I was so mad and I needed food so bad. So we walk all the way back, get in there. Everybody is in various states of passed out. Curd. I go and I look at him, because me and him were sharing a bed. And
Logistically, it makes the most sense.
Logistically, it makes the most sense. He was sprawled out, and he had both of his eyes open, except one was kind of looking at me, and the other one was all the way over to the right. He looked insane. I thought he was dead, and I wanted to shake him.
We all should have been dead.
I thought, because I came in and the room just smelled like musk and beer.
It smells bad, and it's loud.
Like, well, and then it turns out hold on, it turns out Andronicus has sleep apnea, because he sounded like a small child screaming at one point, trying to get air, using our cooler as a pillow.
The best the next day, and you could tell it was one of those things you didn't know where to throw it in there, but you were finally just like, "Hey man, I think you might have sleep apnea." And he's like, "Hell yeah, I do.
I got 2 machines at home."
And we're like, "Yeah, you could have brought one."
And so
it was so late already, and no one would shut the fuck up. Everyone was asleep, but no one. There was one point where I was just laying there, and I'm like, I just wanted all the stuff. I would give anything for this silence, like this silence of that Uber that I talked so much shit about. I want it now, because you're also kind of loud, and then on top of that, you're like just annoying because he's so loud, and I'm like, that's bad. But why does this motherfucker also got to chime in? And you look crazy, like you're mid.
I looked like I was screaming in my sleep. Apparently, what the fuck is that?
Finally, it was silence, and I was like, "Oh, good, there is a God." And I finally started to doze off, and then it was just, and I'm like, "Ah!" I was texting Zach because I had watched him call the hotel and get a room. So I texted him like, what is your room? I was just going to go bang on doors. Like, someone, I'll give you $50 right now to let me
just gone and
sleep
slept out in the car.
It was a little cold, but it honestly would have been better. I finally fell asleep at, I want to say 6:30 in the morning, and I woke up at 8. So that will feed into day number 2. I have to take a piss real quick.
Okay, bathroom break. And we're back.
All right. So yeah, I think I was the second person awake the next morning, still hearing everyone snore and look fucked up.
I think we all got up and got dressed and ready to go pretty quick, though. We're pretty good at efficiently moving out.
Yeah, I woke up and I had that beautiful thing where I forgot that my leg hurt, so I turned and I was like, So I just like pushed myself to where like my upper body was up against the headrest, and I remember Cole looking over at me, and he told me later, like, hey, you just looked fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I took a shower because I thought maybe it would help to, like, I ran some real cold water on my leg and some real hot water. Nothing really did anything. It was a horrible little tiny bathroom hell. And then, yeah, we all got ready pretty quickly. Went to get breakfast.
Which I loved. I just want to put
perfect.
That out.
Glad someone did. I ordered biscuits and gravy.
Yeah,
which
this was fucked.
A specialty for Saturday only. A special. And, he says, yeah, it comes with peppered gravy, blah, 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 blah. Peppered gravy, in my opinion, means there's pepper in the gravy. Like
gravy,
every gravy that you ever fucking get. Turns out it's fucking bell peppers, which I think are gross most of the time, especially on biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, that just combo doesn't sound right or good at
No,
all.
not at all. And then it just infiltrated the gravy, so I was eating like
it was like his pepper
biscuits,
flavor,
but then they were even kind of had it.
And I felt so bad because I loved my food so much. It was so good.
Yeah, you were an animal.
Yeah, so since I didn't get any Denny's the night before.
Oh yeah, I guess that does make sense. That
I got an obscene amount of food the next day. So this it was Monty's Blue Star Diner, is that right?
I don't think it's Star, but something.
Monty's Blue something.
Plate.
Monty's Blue Plate, yeah. They specifically
fuck that place.
No, I love that place.
Well,
they had
I'm not wrong. Fuck that place.
You're not wrong.
Matt didn't like his food either. Cole gets like eggs and bacon. If it's bad, then good lord, the building should be condemned.
Yeah. But no, I ended up getting French toast because I haven't had French toast in forever, and it was a tofu scramble with tempeh bacon and toast and all kinds of goodness, and I just wolfed it down like an animal in front of everybody.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it's usually hard to watch when I don't get food for a while. But
I had my 3 drinks, and the lemonade was horrible.
I was just happy to have food in my body, and I was hoping my happiness would infect everyone, but it didn't.
Well, I was feeling fine at this point. My knee was unpleasant, and I wasn't sure. When I initially woke up, my first thought was, how can I, like, get out of here without, like, making them go home? Like, it was that bad that I didn't know if I would be able to make it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I think I can do it. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to, like, walk around all day. Like, it doesn't seem like a good idea, but I don't know what the other option is. And then I was fine there. I had a Monster, and then I had some coffee and whatever, had a little bit of food. Then we went to a record store down the street, and while we were in there was when I was like, I don't feel super great.
Yeah.
But usually it comes in waves for me where I'll be like, I feel fucking great, and everything's hilarious, and then I'll be like, I feel kind of sick, and nothing's funny at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually that quickly goes away. But then we left the record store, went downtown, parked, and then we were going to go to, Prof was going to the Great Dane Brewery, pub, whatever place. But it was a little early for that, and I wasn't trying to be like a weirdo and sit there and wait for everyone to show up.
Yeah.
So we decided to walk around, which instantly was
regret.
Like a bad idea, and there was nowhere to go. So lo and behold, we wound up back at Rigby's, the bar that everyone else hated, but...
I didn't hate it. The next
you guys were, even when we were going to it, when we drove by it, you were like, fuck that fucking place, blah, blah, blah. Which I was...
Maybe it's a
even
porthole to hell that my subconscious knows and I don't.
Because even at that point, I was like, I don't know.
Like, the Bloody Marys were great the next day. The staff was so nice.
Yeah. The lady was like, "Oh, it's you guys again."
Yeah, that's always embarrassing.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
You don't
want
to clopen with the bar opener.
Yeah, one of the last people in the bar and one of the first people.
Yeah, that just looks bad on us, especially when we're like, we're from out of town. Like, that's what we do every weekend back home. We just came here to do it in a different town. Makes me look like an alcoholic.
Yeah, it looked bad, and I got a beer and I had like 3 sips of it. And then I got this crazy feeling. I don't think it was related to...
I got very worried about you.
I think everyone was. And on top of how worried you were, I think all of us should have been more worried. Because I took 3 sips of the beer. I don't think it had anything to do with like 3 sips of a beer. But I felt like I was going to faint. Which, for the record, I've never fainted, actually. So I don't know if that's even right. But I definitely felt like I was like about to nod off and then not wake up. And so we're sitting at the bar, and I'm like, ugh. So I started leaning real far forward. So I'm like, if I faint, at least like hopefully it's forward, and not, because if I faint backwards on top of the knee and everything, I feel like we're gonna have to do something. Go to the hospital, go home. I'm gonna cause a scene for sure. So I told Cole, I was like, because I do it a lot where I'll be going through some shit and I just don't tell people because I'm like, it'll go away. This was so bad that I was like, I guess I should give someone a heads up, like whoever's next to me.
Yeah.
So if I start going, they can like at least try to like grab me. And I was like, I feel like I could pass out. And he was like, oh shit, that's not good. And then at one point he spun around and it was like a similar tone. I think that's why it's so funny to me. And he looks at me and he goes, I think I gotta go take a shit. So I'm like, yeah, I might pass out. Cole might have to go take a shit. Same difference. And I was really trying to ride it out because I was like, maybe it's just like a momentary thing. I drank some of Matt's water. And then I literally was like, I think it's going to happen. So I went outside, which then I was also like, what's the best option? Where do you want to faint? Should I just lay down on the sidewalk? So when I faint, I'm just there. Or like, because even if I would have went outside, because you eventually came out, which was a very kind gesture. Well, man, and we talked and joked.
You're my broski. I gotta take care of you, because like,
no, it was nice.
I just had this gut feeling, like I was sitting there and I took a sip of Bloody Mary and I was like, I need to go outside and check on him. Like I was just like, nah, something's
and you
not
come
right.
out and I'm just laying on the sidewalk.
You were like hunched over on like
I was leaning on a pole.
I was like,
that's where I think you should faint, leaning on a pole.
Yeah,
that's what I had all the options, and I went leaning on a pole. And I wanted to be away from it. And yeah, it's just one of those things that you're like, this is a crazy, weird feeling that I've never really had.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know the answer.
I'm glad we're documenting this audio ways so that like when like something crazy happens, we can just show this to the doctor, you describing how you feel, and he can be like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense, because
I don't think he would say that. I think he would be like, I don't know. Because like, yeah, there's definitely like dehydration was part of it. And like, just like, I wasn't hungover. I think exhaustion, because like an hour and a half of sleep.
I didn't feel hungover at all. Even with the lack of sleep. No, I never get hungover,
but yeah, I think the lack of sleep, just too much drinking. I don't know. I've never had that happen before. Because then it proceeded to go on. Because then I went back in the bar. I took another sip of the beer and I was like, you know what? Just might as well just wait. So I gave it to Cole. And then it was about that time. So we went to walk over to the Great Dane, which is like just down the street. And this is one of my favorite moments because we go outside. And I was like, I don't know if I should smoke a cigarette, but maybe it'll help with like breathing. I feel like I'm not breathing well. I don't know. I'm going to fucking do it. At this point, fuck it. Right? And so I light up a cigarette and we're standing there and we're about to walk. And then I'm like, my ass feels really wet. Did I shit my pants? Because if I had busted my knee, kept feeling like I was going to faint, and then shit my pants,
we would have had to go.
Yeah, I would have been like, see you guys. I don't even want to leave with you guys because I shit my pants, and I'm a garbage person. So I was like, what in the fuck? So I'm walking, and I don't know if you've ever thought you shit your pants and you can't immediately figure it out, and you don't want to be like, hey guys, I think I might have shit my pants.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a horrific feeling.
Yeah, and then I'm standing up there smoking, and then we're like, Andronicus went to go in, and he's like, I can't find the seating. This is such a weird place. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I think I shit my pants. Because I was like, even like moving while I was waiting to go in, and I'm like, yeah, it feels real wet. I think I shit my pants, which I haven't done in a long time. I don't know what the answer here is. I hope it's not bad. I don't know what to do. I don't know where they sell underwear. So I go in and we sit down, and again, not trying to make it like I shit my pants. I like chilled for a second, like took my coat off, and I was like, I'm gonna hit the restroom real quick. So I went down there, which the restroom in that building
is down like 2 flights of stairs.
It's down 2 flights of stairs, and you just keep thinking you're walking into the kitchen, or I don't know.
Weird long hallway.
Very weird place. And so I went down there. Luckily got a stall, got in there, did some investigative research, did not shit my pants. I was just crazy sweaty everywhere. Because then after that, I'm like, yeah, you're also very sweaty everywhere. You're like fucking burning up.
Maybe you almost had a stroke or something.
I fucking wish it would have just happened at this point. Because my knee's still fucking hurt. But, so then I took a shit preemptively. Because I'm like, and I've never shit in a bar. So literally,
a lot of things broken this weekend.
a lot of changing in my life happened.
We're
life-changing event.
We're changed people coming back from Madison.
Oh yeah, and normally I have a great time come back and brag about it. This one has been different to say the least.
And it was my very first one. So.
Yeah, maybe it's you, but yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even consider that.
I had to take a sweaty shit that you think you might faint during, while they just blasted like deep cuts of J. Cole, and I was like, that was my hell. We both found different hells in the bathroom.
I like to think that Friday was drama night, Saturday was slim night.
Oh yeah, it definitely was, because my knee was fucking, which I don't know if, because again, I stand up to wipe my ass. I don't know if you've ever had to stand on your shitty knee, not literally, but your busted knee, trying to wipe your ass in a fucking weird bathroom.
I like to think that this weekend we were like this, like our energy just kept trading back and forth.
Well, then I want one of your knees to be broken. I will pay for it, because if you think we trade off like that, then I want the trade off.
Listen, man, if you would have told me this on like episode 12, I would have called you a fucking lunatic. But 30 episodes in, I'm willing to do it in solidarity for you, brother.
Finally. So yeah, then which also I text Cole because I was thinking about when he was like, I gotta take a shit. So I texted him and I'm like, I'm shitting. I hope I don't faint, which I thought was funny because like, what happens if you're shitting and you faint? Later, I had to go back down to that terrible bathroom and take a piss, and then Kurt walks in and his fist next to me, and then I'm like, oh, what if you passed out? What if you fainted while you were taking a piss and your dick's out and you just fall backwards
with your thumb on?
And Kurt goes, yeah, you just pass out laying on the floor with your thumb on your dick, which is one of those things no one talks about, but we're all doing the same thing because obviously it's like the most effective way to piss.
Yeah.
And yeah, so then the whole rest of the day, every time I took a piss, I just pictured fainting.
With your thumb on your
like dick. We're at this place. I had no liquor. I had 6 glasses of water at the Great Dane. Because the only thing I could think is like...
We were asses. We just kept drinking water because I think we just
It wasn't even just drinking the water. There was so much inappropriate screaming.
Yeah.
Like...
From everyone.
Yeah, because at a certain point I was like, fuck this, I don't care. But then, yeah, the guy was coming up, he came over and he was like, you guys need anything? And I was like, another water? And he goes, oh, just another water? Because they drank 6 glasses of water there.
Yeah.
And Cole ordered a water and he like slammed it down. I think he was like pissed because we were just drinking all the water. I didn't know what else to do, so I was like, I'll just drink a total of 8 glasses of water and see if that helps.
We're monsters. Why did they even let us out in public?
I thought, and I'm still shocked it didn't happen, that we would be asked to leave from at least one.
And we didn't.
No.
I'm very proud of us.
I think everyone was too intimidated because I locked eyes with the bartender at that Great Dane place. And at first he looked like he was sleeping, and then he just shot his eyes open and stared at me for like a long time. And I was like, I get it, but like, I don't know. We're here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
True freedom when you're not from there.
Yeah, because even at breakfast, which was probably the worst because there was children around.
Oh my God, we were terrible at breakfast.
That was probably the worst one. The other ones, if I'm in a bar and someone's like, you're being loud and saying offensive things, I'm like, we're in a bar.
Yeah, but like if someone came up to us at breakfast, I would have understood.
Yeah, I would have.
Oh, man. Yeah. No shame in my game, though.
Yeah, so then we hit.
Not above it.
Then we hit State Street. We popped into the Capitol to pee. Because a lot of peeing comes from drinking 8 glasses of water.
A lot of water moving through you.
Then we just hit some shops.
Yeah, got a vinyl I've been looking for a while, which I was pretty excited about. It's Tom Waits' Real Gone.
Oh, except that was at the first place, right?
Yeah, except he remastered it because he wasn't happy with the 2004 mix of it, so it's like a completely different mix of it. And the record shop actually had the old one and the new one, and it was only a $5 price difference. So it's like I might as well just get the new one, you know? So I got that and a pack of Robert Johnson cassettes because I always like to collect anything that was like old blues, like Delta style blues stuff, and it was like $6. And because they had some old Delta Blues records I was interested in, but I didn't want to drop like $60 on vinyl on the trip because I, paid for the hoodie and some other too many beers.
I bought nothing except alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
And food.
Very proud of you.
Briefly.
Yeah.
I was trying to buy shit, but then I don't know. Fuck it.
So we just kind of coasted throughout the rest of the day, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of little shops you've never been to. One thing I want to point out, because you weren't around, and it's probably one of my also favorite memories from the weekend, is you went into the record store that I'm not going to mention because I'm not a fan of them. Very tiny little record store, right? That's why I walked in with you, and I was instantly like, nope, because it's like the size of a sardine can, and there was like 8 people in there.
This story, yeah.
And so I'm walking down the street. We're saying... and you don't even know. So
I don't want to know.
We're standing there smoking cigarettes waiting for Slim. And then I'm like, let's get out of, like, we're being those guys standing like right on the sidewalk. Never been to Madison, a lot of foot traffic, like downtown.
A lot of it.
So I was like, let's go. There's like a little clearing where you'll know where we are. It's usually where homeless people congregate, but let's go sit over there for a minute. And then I start walking. And I feel someone bump on my left side, and I think it's one of the guys I'm with, telling me to hold up. So I turn around, and it is a tiny, scary-looking old man.
Danny DeVito-esque?
Very thin, though.
Ooh,
like a long nose.
Like an emaciated Danny DeVito?
Maybe, but even that, he did have glasses. He was balding.
Poor guy.
Had a big pointy nose. I feel like I have a comparison in my head, but I'm too sick of everything to figure it out. But yeah, so he bumps into me, and I turn down, and at first I'm startled because it's such a small person, like a child-sized man. And then he looks up at me and he goes, "Sorry." And I was just like, oh my God, what little demon monster.
Yeah, everyone seemed very stressed about it when I came out of the record shop.
Well, then they seemed... Because then I was one of those, like, shocks. I had 2 things that, like, scared the shit out of me for a reason that shouldn't have that weekend, that same day, really close to each other, honestly. But that man scared the shit out of me. And I turned around, and I was like, yo, that guy scared the shit out of me. And then they were like, yeah, we saw him, and I didn't know what was happening. And then I was like, yeah, and then he goes, sorry. And everybody, like, lost their shit, because that's exactly what it sounded like it would look like, because that's what it did. I don't know, that little man scared me. Then when we were in Earwax Records, did you realize there was a TV in there?
No.
Me neither, until I was standing in front of it, looking down at, like, patches or something. And then out of the corner of my eye, it was like a close-up of a man. And I think it was a horror movie, so it, like, glanced up, and it was a man. And that was one of those full-body shocks, like, scared the shit out of me.
I did not see this happen.
No, I don't think because I fucking froze up, because I thought in my mind, because it was like a TV built into the wall, very inconspicuous.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it was a man outside of the window. I'm like 2 or 3 stories up, so I'm just like, oh my, and it was one of those, you know what I mean, that full, like, something scares you so bad, it's just like...
It's that fight or flight thing where, like, your body, like, your instincts are like, either got to fight
you turn around, I'm just punching a TV.
Old man's either going to catch a fade or you're running.
That also scared the shit out of me. And, yeah, those were
you
actually
just kept getting scared by old men this weekend.
That was actually just, like, 20 minutes away from each other. It's I think when I'm, like, exhausted and beaten down to the point I was, I'm more susceptible to being scared. And
yeah. Oh, my sensitive little buddy. Poor little guy.
And around that time, I'd finally stopped feeling like I was going to faint, which was tight.
Which is cool.
Which is nice when that finally happens.
So we just ended up pretty much just bar hopping, doing what we did. Got into a very nice, intense game of darts with the boys.
Yeah.
How many rounds?
Several
4 or 5
games.
rounds?
Something like that.
It was a good couple hours of darts we got in there. Ended up making our way over to UWU to see a free Cool Kids show.
Yeah, it was at a place called The Set, which is their, like, rec center, which is just fucking ridiculous.
It was
honestly.
tight in there. Let's be honest, man. That was one of the coolest hangout spots. Can you imagine if Rockford had something that cool?
No, we can't have things that nice.
Because it had, like, a chill place where you could hang out with your buddies. It was, like, 3 stories tall. There was a restaurant. There was a bar. Like, they had a venue there. Like, it was all kinds of stuff there.
Huge venue. Huge stage.
You could have
space.
so many people in there. You could have, like, I bet at least 1,000 people in there for a show.
Definitely 500 to 1,000, depending on how that upstairs looked.
Yeah.
They have another area with, like, rock climbing and bowling and shit.
Yeah, it's like an all-around just cool place to hang out.
Yeah, and they throw free shows there all the time.
And so the Cool Kids were fantastic. One of the funniest shows I've ever been to.
Yeah, I think because would you say 35 people showed up to that?
If that.
Near us?
Yeah, I would say around 40, not more than 60.
I would say 35, honestly. Like,
Yeah, it was
I don't know
small.
what was up top, but next to us there was no one. And I think because there was such few people, they were very loose with their show.
Yeah,
which was probably better than if it had been like a normal show.
It was the perfect end to the weekend because it's like, we did so much rowdy stuff. We moved around so much and did so much. We got so many battle scars, got so fucked up, took in so much that it was nice to have like good quality music with some good jokes in between with good people. Because it's like nobody was like rude or a dick or anything. Everyone just kind of dancing and having fun.
Some man offered me fries, which it was dark, so I just reached to grab some fries, and I got one that was covered in barbecue sauce. And I think that's rude. If you're gonna offer someone food in the dark, and you
tell them what it is.
Should say it's covered in sauce, because I wouldn't have got a fry if I knew it was covered in barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Because I'm the guy standing there licking my fingers, which never looks appropriate at an event.
Never looks appropriate anywhere for what it's worth.
I mean, in the comfort of your own home, whatever. But yeah,
doesn't look appropriate.
As soon as the cool kids started, which I guess don't take food from strangers either.
No.
It was very.
Owen Bones had a fantastic DJ set, man. Let's talk about that for a second.
That was one of the best DJs I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, he was mixing tracks that I didn't even know worked well together.
We were sitting like around the corner away from the stage waiting for the opener, and then we heard the DJ. I did not realize he was the opener. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought Owen Bones was like a guy. And then I'm like, oh, it's a DJ. When we got up there and he was like, the cool kids are up next, I was like, oh, I wonder what happened to that middle guy.
It was like a tight
and then when
surprise.
Then when the cool kids came out, he came back out and they were like, and our DJ, Owen Bones. And I was like, oh, all right, this makes a lot more sense.
And they were so good, too. Like, they weren't just, like, funny. They were actually good, talented performers.
Yeah, and I haven't heard a lot of their newer stuff. I've, like, skimmed through it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, when I was, like, it was like a decade ago when, like, Mikey Rocks, or, yeah, that's what it's called, I think. And then Black Mags in, like, 88 and all those songs when they came out, I was, like, super into that. So to hear it over a decade later live finally, I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of my favorite parts was when Chuck English was like, next time we come back, I want to see all your faces. Maybe bring 4 or 5 friends each or something. But then you get to tell them you were at this shit. Like, yeah, they didn't come out and were like salty that there was 35 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
All of which at different points people didn't seem to care. There was that one guy who just kept shouting Black Mags, and I like how Chuck English was like, that's the last song.
You gotta let us play the other stuff.
If you want to hear that now, then we're done. Of course we're gonna play Black Mags, because I feel like that's every band or artist
that's
or
had like a
anything
couple
that has
of huge, big
one song that everyone's waiting for, no matter what else you've done.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to hear Black Mags. And it was my favorite song they played because it's the one I know the best, and it reminded me of being like a little shitty kid. So yeah, it was good. It was definitely nice that it was like so chill and spacious.
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, it was
very relaxed.
Yeah, it was a relaxed rap show. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, and it was definitely something that like no one else is gonna see, because I assume their other shows are like fuller and
a bit more
structured.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a really good time.
And then of course we had always have our fantastic drives home with.
Yeah, that one was especially epic.
Yeah, that one had
because it wasn't so sad. It wasn't just sad. It was all over the place.
Right. We had a lot of good, like just good, like brothers being together kind of songs. Just like camaraderie. Like just everything about the weekend was so perfect in its own way. Like I know we were like fuck that bar, and I was like this place is a hellhole. What I think I meant by this place is a hellhole is that. It's a city that is fantastic to be in. I will say that Madison is a fantastic city for art. It's a fantastic city for being an individual. It's a fantastic city to party in. I love Madison. I think Madison is fantastic. Now, if you're a little bit of a dirtbag but not a complete douche, Madison might not be the city for you, because we happen to be a group that is just a little bit rougher around the edges, but we each have our own wonderful, fantastic, charismatic talents that we each bring to the table. But we come from a rough city. So a city like Madison sometimes has some areas and some bars that are a bit more high class. And I think what we're suited for.
Oh, yeah. I pee outside too often to be in some places,
right.
And I know that.
Yeah. But like it's like you said, Madison is like a nice getaway where it's like we can go somewhere nice and do something
we're trying to be
fun,
fancy. And there's still bars, like the bars we were at, besides.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm indifferent about the fucking Rigsby fiasco. But like.
That one's going to be up in the air. That one's going to be settled in the summer of 2018.
I would never go back to that one, but that doesn't doesn't mean I hated it. That's how I realize I am with like a lot of things. Like my Yelp review, if I did them when I go to restaurants, a lot of times I'll be like, it was all right, but I'll just never come back here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't bad, but I just
No, I'm not gonna like shit on the place, but it's not
to,
my cup of tea, you know?
Yeah, and not even that. It was just so like blatantly like a bar. You know how some bars are just a bar.
It's just
and like
a bar.
Yeah, I'm only here because I'm drinking. Like the prices were average, the actual drinks were average, the jukebox was average. Like these are all things that could happen anywhere else.
Honestly, man, I apologize. You thought I didn't have a good time over the weekend.
No, you kept shouting, "This is a hellhole!"
But it's
up
like,
until
this is
towards
a building.
until the end. Then like
because that's when it made sense. Because there was something in my brain that wasn't connecting about the city. Because I'm walking around and I'm like, I'm having a lit time. I'm being loud and inappropriate, but this place doesn't reflect what I'm doing, and it just didn't make sense to me. In my that's why I kept saying it's a hellhole, because I was like, it's like here's two pieces that are supposed to connect like this, and they're connecting like this, but it's making sense, and I'm like, but then like
you were overstimulated.
I was very overstimulated, but then when I was able to finally step back and chill a little bit, have a day or two off, and talk this whole experience off, I realized that like the city itself was so beautiful. It was so majestic in what it had to offer, and that it has so much to offer. There's so much to do and so much to take in that it's like you can come from anywhere and be of any walk of life and find something to love and do in Madison.
Yeah. Literally every time I go there, there's an event going on like outside of what I'm even doing.
Right. I mean, like you found out about the Cool Kids show because it's like we would have had nothing else to do on the Saturday.
Yeah, would have just went home, which I would have been fine
which
with.
Would have been all right,
point.
but it was still a great weekend.
And also, fuck everybody. I stuck it out.
You were the
permanently
MVP
ruined my leg.
MVP of the weekend right here, because man,
where's my trophy?
You could have damn near died. Being alive is your trophy.
No, I don't want that trophy. I honestly, at certain points, would take the opposite of that trophy.
It's your participation trophy.
Last night when I was trying to fall asleep, I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was actually going to die. And I was like, I've said it a lot. Am I ready to face the consequences? Because also, like, my knee hurts.
Fuck
and now
consequences.
I
ain't running.
Then I got sick, and you know how sometimes they're like, if you have a really bad injury, you get, like, crazy sick?
Yeah, it's like a psychosomatic thing.
Fuck, am I, like, is it worse than I think? Because it's getting better. It still hurts quite a bit, but it hurts way less than it did,
Yeah.
But then also my nose is bruised. And when could that have happened?
Possibly during your loud fall during prof?
But I fell backwards. That's how I don't even know how my
Did you get hit in the face at one point during the show?
I don't remember it, but
that's what
like
I would say would be the most likely
option,
because
right?
I'm seeing the bruise now that I'm focusing on it. It's
I know.
Upsetting.
I know. I fucking
what happened to my little? Who hurt my buddy?
That day, like when I woke up, I like touched that area because my nose gets fucking crazy, and I was like, oh, that area is sore. And then when I was looking in the mirror just yesterday, I think it finally set in. And I'm like, and I got a fucking bruised nose.
My protective dad is coming out. I'm like, who hurt my boy?
Well, where the fuck you were taking a shit while I'm getting beat up in the crowd. Apparently, people are like making sure to stomp on his nose and his knee. The two fucking like my nose.
Someone stomp Slim's shitty son.
He's finally taking his sweaty shit downstairs. We took the latch off the door to make sure he has to hold on for a minute.
And I'm down there. I'm screaming drama.
Yeah, and I'm just getting beat up, and they're like, "We know his."
That's what the loud booms were. It was you hitting
the floor. Dropped. That's why Cole was like, "It's louder than the music." I'm surprised.
I'm amazed we didn't bring this up. His glasses that he bought. Can we talk about those for a second?
Can we admit that
they made him look better?
No, that's not what that sounded vulgar.
He's gonna listen to this and be like, fuck you guys.
Well, he's still wearing them. Like, no, I was gonna say, fuck it. I'm sure he doesn't care. He stole him from a place. We obviously won't say the place.
No,
but he comes out and he
lifted him.
He comes out. He took him. Comes outside to us. I'm smoking a cigarette. Then he's just trying them on with
the tag on him. And it's like, boy, if you're gonna be reckless, don't be stupid.
That was such a khaki, beautiful move.
Oh, it was. Kurd, man, you just keep that shit up.
One pair of them looks crazy.
Yeah.
The other pair, well, because this motherfucker, first off, is wearing a green beanie. Typical shit.
The sweaters they bought. Oh my fucking god, I forgot about this.
Desperately needed a sweater
because he was freezing.
Yeah, which really, in my opinion, it wasn't that cold. It was like there was no sun because it was like 35. There's just no sun.
But we were
moving
and walking. Yeah, it's like we had residual.
And he had like a nice jacket on. So then he goes in there, gets a sweater, like a hoodie. and puts it on and comes out. And then Cole comes out in this
Wearing-
magnificent North Face.
It looked like
and
a skinned Muppet. It's what it looked like.
Outside, I was like, that motherfucker's gonna like cop a North Face or something.
And he copped
And
a
then
North
he came out, and it was like a similar green to his hat. It was soft as shit, like a blanket.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, majestic North Face. And then once he put those glasses on, it
was
it's
ridiculous.
like a whole nother person.
Turned into a great value Logic overnight. It was wonderful.
That sounds so shitty. I like the look.
No, it was
Wow.
honestly, man, if he could just, like, Kurt, I know you're listening to this because you listen to us every
You're
week.
the only one.
You're the only one listening every week. Please just cop that look everywhere you go. You look like you listen to, like, you look like you got really great opinions about, like, indie rock.
I like trusted you more.
Yeah,
right
like,
off the bat.
yeah, like you look at him and you're like, that's a guy who knows good things about everything. I don't know what it is about the glasses, but like, man, it just makes you look more reputable, I guess. Like, you look like a guy I'm gonna trust with like anything with those glasses on.
And he rocked him the whole night, even
The
the car
whole
ride
night,
home.
everywhere we went,
Yeah,
he was
even while he
rocking
was
them.
pissing in his lawn.
Oh, yeah, it was
Rocking his
wonderful. Just,
glasses.
probably just kept him on the next day.
Yeah, woke up in them. Which, like, they look good, but then it's got to be one of those things. Because, like, you
It's gotta fuck up his eyes at some point.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell. Hopefully not. Because even if they're just, like, reading glasses, that'll eventually be bad.
yeah.
But it's one of those things where eventually someone's going to be like, let me put on your glasses. And then they're going to be like, these aren't real. And that always, because I think I look good in glasses.
Mhm.
And I'm always like, what if I wore fake glasses? And then I'm like, I don't want to wear fake glasses. Also, is it offensive to people who have to wear glasses for a reason?
You know, we're very proud of our glasses. So the fact people would misrepresent us and use glasses frames instead of when they didn't even really need them in the first place, it's offensive to people that need it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck. Wear whatever the fuck you want. I don't care if you wear fake frames for the rest of your natural life if it makes you happy.
Hey, maybe that's the key. And now we've blown it. If anyone knows them, they know that those aren't real. Because they looked so official that, like,
Whatever, man.
you would think they were real. But listen up, Kurt's a phony. Fucking phony.
Fucking phony. Kid's a phony. Out here wearing fake glasses, wearing a fuzzy Muppet skin, being a phony.
Yeah. We fucking love you.
The what?
Shout out Matt the God and young Kurt. They were part of this, and
Yes,
they really.
And shout out Andronicus for
Andronicus
being
just showed up.
himself.
He didn't make it the full drive, but he was there for quite a bit, and he really that dance he did changed my entire life.
It changed everyone's life.
Good God.
We're gonna get footage of this
Yes.
dance, and we have to get it somewhere for the people.
Yeah, he just breaks out this dance at one point.
Now,
I saw this online.
The way I wanted to end the episode was I wanted to just read that quote that we found at the end
because that thing you wanted to do with it isn't going to work also.
Okay,
so
that
good.
works. So there was a quote next to the bathroom by the script where we were seeing the cool kids, and
Oh, also real quick, because I just reminded it. You almost got away with it, you fucker.
I thought
When
it was
we-
good, though.
When we were at the Great Dane, as Slim previously stated, only about 80% of what he says is actually correct.
It's true.
When we were at the Great Dane, we went through, I want to say there was at least, there's 3 things that I can remember, but I think over the course of the day there was more. It starts off with him talking about how he's going to go to 7 or 11.
That was during the drive.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, I remember specifically.
No, that was at the
sitting-
bar the night before.
No.
This was at breakfast?
No, this was at the Great Dane Brewery, that bar.
Okay.
With all the waters. That's where these all happened. You
I
hit
think
a
I
run.
just needed water.
I think we all needed to die. But yeah, you go, I'm going to go to 7 or 11. And we were like, which one? And then we gave you,
Because
I listed
Andronicus
lots of
goes,
shit.
yeah, it's only open at 7 or 11. You got to pick. You better be lucky.
Yeah. And then at one point you said Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Which then made me not able to say
That's right.
Minneapolis normally. You ruined my life. And then the best one.
I don't want to do this one. This one hurts.
This one
People are
is
going to think I'm so
crazy.
stupid.
I think it was given the day. Given these were pretty much back to back to back, I'm
Everyone's
going
gonna
to
think I'm a
chalk it up to
fucking
that
idiot.
day. Because normally you're better than this.
Thank you.
It's
for this.
not a lot. This has got to be said. I know you wanted us to forget about it, and I almost did. But anyway, the Cool Kids is a rap, a rap duo.
I hate you so much.
Come on, man. I almost shit my pants. We can tell this story. No shame.
No shame.
The Cool Kids is a rap duo of Mikey Rocks and Chuck English. So more editing. We were together normally too much. So Slim was talking about how he couldn't wait to see the cool kids and how Chuck D was going to point at him or something. And we were like, Chuck D from the rap group Public Enemy?
I was so hungry. I needed food.
Like I said, I will chalk it up to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because, to go 7 or 11 Minneapolis and Chuck D in one run was
Is that what we can call the
incredible.
episode?
No, I'm not going to keep going with this. But that's when I realized, I'm like, you're always so close, but it makes it so wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you're right there, and it just completely changes everything. So it was beautiful.
The quote that was outside of this bathroom, and this is what helped me realize my perception of the city. It said, "This grand show is eternal. It is always sunrise somewhere." And in my opinion, that was the best way to describe this entire weekend. You know, it's always eternal. It's everything that we do, I feel like, is always ongoing. Everything that we have yet to do with this brand and this program and our group of people, our friends, just everything. It's already happened. We just haven't gotten there yet. Like, it's always going to be, you know, this eternal. It's just this ongoing thing, but it's always a sunrise somewhere. So even when your knee's fucked up and things don't go the way you wanted them to, and everything just goes right when it's supposed to go wrong and wrong when it's supposed to go right, it's always going to be sunshine somewhere. It's always going to be a wonderful opportunity.
Sunshine to come out of my fucking knees.
It's always going to be a wonderful time for the dads and the dad squad to make life beautiful and bring that sunshine somewhere else.
Fucking fantastic. Glad we did this on a Tuesday.
This is fucking horrible for what it's worth. I can't. Yeah, this is awful. I worked all day. And
hope this was a good episode. Cause
hope you guys enjoyed it.
I might not make it.
No, we might die before we record episode 31 in 3 days.
All right, fuck this.